Ready?
We got 3, 2. Wait, that one. 1. Almost forgot how to do that.
I know. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. And boom. How was everyone doing this fine Friday evening? Yes, you heard it right. Friday. We have been a little bit behind. I mean, at this point, it's kind of on brand for us, but we've been a little behind because of just life stuff. I'm one of your hosts for this awesome podcast, which is known as PS Comics I Love You, Jarek. I'm Jarek Upman, aka the Dark King, and of course, my co-host, the one, the only, my compatriot, aka
the voice of reason. It says somewhere down there. I usually add it in post-production. I am Kevin Pill, the voice of reason, at Voice of Reason 23 on all social media platforms. And I am pulling double duty today. I just got done doing a live show, and now I'm over here. As we record this, it is Friday night. And as I say on my other show, underneath those Friday night lights. We're just kind of playing a little catch up. There's no What If Wednesdays anymore. So we don't have the bonus episode to do. And so we kind of put off doing our main show, which usually we record on Sundays or Mondays, but life happens, man.
Yeah.
If you don't miss it, it might just go right past you.
Man.
As you can tell by our background, it's that wonderful time of the year where all the ghouls and haunts and whatnot come out to play. It's Halloween season. And of course, I am decked out with the Merc with the mouth, Deadpool. I got the Jacko Wade up there in the top corner. Got Spider Deadpool, and I got Ghost Deadpool. So for those of you who care, and then over here, Cat Deadpool. And who you got there in the background?
I got House of Slaughter going on, man. His actual name escapes me right now, Ben. But this guy, the House of Slaughter comic is actually going to be debuting the 20th of this month, so I can't wait for that one. Of course, it comes out Halloween, man.
Is it from Marvel?
No.
Then it will definitely hit its release date.
We will definitely talk about that.
Foreshadowing. That's how you do it in the broadcast business. Yeah. So we got tons to talk about why Marvel Comics are missing their deadlines.
Yep.
And it has really nothing to do about Marvel. But we got a couple of news and notes to get through. We are, as they say, in the thick of it. We've got New York Comic-Con just ended. We've got DC Fandom as we speak will air tomorrow, meaning Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep.
So the 16th and 17th.
Yeah. With
DC prepared to unleash some shit.
Yeah.
The Rock already teasing. He's got Black Adam stuff coming. We've got Sparkle Batman coming with Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. Jim Lee.
You know him from the Twilight movies.
Yeah,
yes,
Jim Lee actually did.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Jim Lee posted on his Instagram that he's teasing that there is going to definitely be a reference to that. Granted, I think that's been the trailer of show, supposedly the big headline that's going to come out. But I actually can't wait for that one, man. It looks pretty good.
It is. It is set to make its debut, the teaser trailer, whatever you want to call it, on Fandom, and of course, in just a couple of weeks, Disney Plus Day on November 12th. Of course, that will be the day that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings will hit Disney Plus for free, my friend. And also will most likely be released for all digital platforms, including Amazon Prime, meaning you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Fandango, Vudu, Apple, iTunes, Google Play,
YouTube,
like that. So
all that. Yeah.
All kinds of good stuff, but we got stuff to talk about from DC and Marvel in our news and notes. Real quick, want to throw it out there. There is some spectacular events going on there in the gaming industry. I think that Marvel Avengers, the game on PlayStation and Xbox, I believe right now you can get some Halloween skins, I believe, and some other Halloween related adventures. Pokemon Go started their annual Halloween event today as we record this. So a lot of Halloween stuff going on. And I know that in Animal Crossing 2, it is starting for you Nintendo Switch fans out there. And again, it's as if the gaming industry never changed. People been, that's why I think that our Shang-Chi review that we did a couple weeks ago, it was actually called Shang-Chi and the Legend of Another Video Game episode, because we talked about the Tokyo Game Show. There's a lot of gaming stuff going on. And it's because it's ramping up for the holiday season. So expect it. We're going to talk about Disney Plus. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to talk about video games heavily, probably for the next few months. So let's get into New York Comic Con, a plethora, as JR said, of new trailers and sneak peeks. We begin with 0 and 1s, starring Ethan Hawke and directed by Abel Ferrara. It releases on November 19th. JR, this, my friend, is where you come in, because
you haven't watched
I don't know if I know anything about this movie, but I like Ethan Hunt. I like Ethan Hawke. I almost said Ethan Hunt, but that's the guy from Mission Impossible.
But it looks really, really good. Actually, it has to do with a brother stationed out in Rome, and that supposedly Rome was doing a cover up where his other brother, an individual where his brother was seen as a revolutionary, and then supposedly the Roman Catholic Church covered something up, a possibly terrorist attack there, or something of the matter, and he's trying to uncover it. So it looks really good. Abel Ferrara, he is actually very prolific director. He has done some other films. I can't necessarily remember on the top of my head. I'm actually gonna just pull some up right now. But one of the bigger buzzes that, other than Ethan Hawke in it, it's because it's an Abel Ferrara movie, and it's looking actually really, really good. It's dealing very much in the sense of like very mysterious. Like if you ever watched what's that one movie with Matt Damon, The Green Zone?
Oh, okay.
Way back when, right when it was necessarily talking about the oil in Iraq, basically, and he's trying to go into that, trying to uncover something. To me, it feels very much in a similar vein. But overall, it looks actually really good. The trailer came out a couple of days ago, and I'm just saying, I'm just really happy that Ethan Hawke is just making movies again, man, because the dude is really like very prolific for me. Like he's like, ever since Training Day, I've loved Ethan Hawke in anything he's been in. So
absolutely. And if you've never seen Training Day, shame on you. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Not safe for work, I can tell you that much. But we were just talking about it at work the other day. But it's a good flick. And Ethan Hawke, who always kind of played that kind of dopey guy, kind of guy next door, kind of gee golly shucks guy in a lot of like romantic comedies,
early ones,
really got to show his acting chops in Training Day, and he still played that gee golly shucks guy, which is what he needed to do to only show that he can be a badass alongside Denzel. So again, still arguably probably one of the best movies ever made. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, it's so violent, it's so crass. And I'm like,
exactly.
It's not Mary Poppins, y'all.
You're a narc. Your police officer is a narc trying to go undercover as well. Like, so it's definitely a really, really prolific movie for Ethan Hawke, and I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy he's continued to like get like roll after roll after roll, man. Because dude, the guy is really very good. Also, we'll continue on the list too. This one hurt because I've been talking about this specific trailer on the podcast for quite a while because I'm a huge fan of it. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City official trailer. This is the second trailer that released, and this official trailer, and it's a little bit more serious from the first one that I think we talked about before. And I must say, it looks like trash. It breaks my heart. It looks a lot more like a serious quote unquote homage to the original series, but like it feels like a bunch of like cosplaying friends wanted to do a movie with an indie budget, and it looks bad. It really does. The CG looks bad. There's certain overacting and just certain like weird moments in the trailer, man. I'm still gonna watch it because like I'm still a huge Resident Evil fan. It's a little bit more consistent than the Anderson series or the Anderson franchise of Resident Evil, man. But it's gonna have to really try to win me over, man, because it feels like well, were those I think we talked about before, those Halloween movies that usually come out, those like thriller, like from like these indie like an indie franchise, like
Yeah,
these 90s.
it's the they're trying to take the and I'm looking at it right now, and
Mhm.
not the trailer, but just kind of looking at some of the stills. And you're right, it's kind of taken from that formula of let's make a budget horror movie,
Yeah,
that'll cost us $100,000,
yeah,
and then turn around and make $1 billion. And
yeah.
cha-ching, well, yeah, I mean, if you can get it to work. um it's kind of got a kind of a hodgepodge cast.
I mean,
Kaya,
Kaya Scoldero, she's actually really good. Robbie Amell, he's the brother of the
J-
air, the person who played it.
Jason
Who
Amell,
the,
no,
no, not Jason Amell. It's something else. It's but he's the brother
yeah,
of the Amell
Green
who
Arrow.
played the Green Arrow, and he's currently on a wrestling show called
Oh, Heels on
Heels. Yeah,
Stars.
yeah. So he's on that one too
I've
right
heard
now.
that's pretty good too, by the way.
Yeah,
I've heard that's pretty good.
I think that's the reason, one of the main reasons why he wanted to get off Arrow, because he wanted to do that. And
Yeah, and everyone knows, for those who watch wrestling, he is a huge Stephen Amell.
Stephen,
Is a huge wrestling fan. He's buddy with. He had some dust ups with
yeah,
Cody Rhodes in the
hmm,
WWE,
wow,
now in AEW. So, but yeah, and so Robbie Stevens, it was a younger brother, I think,
yeah,
and then Neil McDonough. You
yeah,
know him. He played Dum Dum Dugan in
yep,
the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
yep,
So he's in this. I think it's trying to be like exactly what you said, JR, is that shoestring horror budget film, but it's not.
yeah,
It's Res Evil. It's a
yeah,
franchise,
yeah. It's we just gotta see how it does. It's supposedly supposed to be a lot more true to form when it comes to
to
the
the
source
game.
material, right? Which is cool, but like I don't know, there's some certain choices there. The Leon Kennedy, which is my favorite Resident Evil character, does not look like Leon Kennedy, and that's not me saying that like, oh, he should be played by a white guy. No, just the dude doesn't look anywhere near, in the sense of like cut, in the sense of like physique, in the sense of look, like Leon Kennedy. He looks like he's supposed to be Carlos Oliveira from the recent remake of Resident Evil 3. And for those who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Because the dude looks like he should be more Carlos than he does Leon. Because if it was, he should shave his beard and cut his hair. But like, it is what it is. I'm probably gonna see it. Maybe not in theaters. Maybe like when it finally inevitably comes out, in probably next month or two on digital platform site. But I gotta watch it because I'm a fan of the original, or of the series. So
And I have
looking for
reason to
that, man.
believe that one of the reasons why
Mm,
this particular storyline was probably greenlit, and it probably was just greenlit and like fast track get it out,
yeah,
was obviously during the pandemic, a lot of people are connecting this storyline from the video game, the Umbrella
yeah,
Corporation storyline, to what went on
in COVID.
in during COVID with
Yeah,
the origin of the coronavirus in Wuhan.
yeah.
Um, and that
I
the Wuhan, it's funny, there's a lot of connection, like the Wuhan lab,
yeah,
that's kind of been quote unquote ground zero for the coronavirus, has a similar logo to that of the Umbrella Corporation. So a lot of
yeah,
conspiracy theorists are out there connecting the dots and whatnot. So
yeah. I mean,
um
I just do feel like if they gave them anywhere near a normal budget, like let's say like at least a double A budget, right? Like anywhere between, I don't know, 50 to 70 million, right? And a good portion of that, instead of going to the actors, would go to like CG and effects, or even like better zombies, because the zombies there look it
but at the
doesn't look
same
good.
time, is maybe there's some people that don't want this to be a maybe they like this movie to be cheesy as shit. Who knows? I mean, let us know in the comments below what you think of the, and the other thing too is, like JR mentioned, being closer to the source material
Mm,
is maybe what was part of the problem with it. And you got to think too, this is a movie, and you say in your notes, Jared, coming to theaters soon. This doesn't have a release date, and I'm looking on IMDb right now, and let me see here, and scrolling, and it has no release date.
Nope.
So, okay, here it goes. It's coming soon. It's saying releasing November 24th of this year. That could be tentative. You know, maybe the studio has a tent pole for that day for this movie, but who's to say that they can go like, I'm going to push it back 60 days or something like that and get some of the. We could very easily have seen a rush trailer with unfinished effects. We've seen that before with Marvel movies. We saw the Avengers Infinity War trailer. Not only one of the reasons why we saw the trailer that we saw, like what they say, like half of the cuts weren't even used in the movie, and a lot of it was they didn't want to give anything away. There were significant plot points, and B was they didn't have things done. So maybe JR, fingers crossed for you that this movie just isn't finished yet, but you've got less than 60 days to get it finished and get it to theaters. So
I mean, like I have low expectations to begin with, but like like it's in that time frame where they have to mass market that movie out already, and has to send it to whatever movie theaters are be taking it in to play on whatever screens there. But other than that, man, I'm still gonna watch it. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, so yeah, it's one of those things where I have to do it. So moving on, that's something I'm super excited about, and I'm so highly hyped for. The Legend of Vox Machina. During NYCC, this amazing legendary group of individuals who do play Dungeons and Dragons, rep on. They actually released. They had a panel and they released a bunch of stuff. They released a bunch of clips out. One of the biggest ones was that they released their official opening title, beloved D&D group Critical Role. For those who know of them, they originally was from Geek and Sundry. Bunch of nerdy ass friends who are voice actors. They play D&D, and then they actually bought their way out of Geek and Sundry and became their own show. And so beloved D&D group Critical Role released their animated series of their first campaign, and for those who remember that one, or if you are a fan, they are actually the highest grossing media, I guess, for TV shows and movies on Kickstarter to ever gross. I think it's like around 11 to 15 million or something like that when they first initially released it, and the end of it was about that much on their Kickstarter. And so they've been shopping that shop. They've been working with, I forgot the studio name, like Something Mouse, which is another prolific studio. They've been working with them to get some studios to get some content out, and they realized that hey, Amazon actually bought the rights to show it on their platform. So I'm going to Amazon Prime. It's starring Matthew Mercer, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, Liam O'Brien, Marisha Ray, Taliesin Jaffe, Sam Riegel, and Ashley Johnson. And anyone who has played video games, watch anime, watch anything animated, I'm pretty sure those names would mean something to you, because like these are some people that have probably been your childhood as they have been in mine. But it will release on Amazon Prime February 4th, 2022, and I cannot wait. My dude, have you seen the trailer or anything like that?
I have not. I've been kind of living under a rock the last week. It was funny, I was telling JR a little kind of peek behind the curtain. I was telling JR last week as we were preparing for last week's show with What If, the season finale, and finishing our episode last week, was like, dude, we've got New York Comic Con coming. Do we want to do something? And we were going to possibly do some live streaming, but it just ended up not working out, which is fine, because you have to be right on it to be able to capitalize on doing live streaming. But no, I haven't had a chance to watch this. Like I said, I've been crazy busy. I did hear about, I know going back, I did hear about 0 and 1s. I did hear about Res Evil. I did not know about Vox Machina. But hey, I was always kind of a fan of Geeks and Sundry. And I have heard of Critical Role. So I'll give it a whirl and see what comes out in February. I've got Amazon Prime, so why not?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So we've got the final season of The Expanse, season 6, coming out on Amazon Prime as well this December, starring Stephen Strait, Dominic Tipper, Wes was it Shatham?
Yep.
Yeah, that name I'm not even going to touch.
Shora Andalashu. Yeah, it's hard for me to say her name as well.
Cara Gee releases on Amazon Prime December 10th of this year. Don't know much about The Expanse. I've heard of it. I don't know much about it. I'm like I said, I'm so bad with movies. By the way, finally saw Venom.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Okay.
As to be expected, I liked the relationship, and I know that they're played by the same character. Is I liked Venom and
Eddie
Brock's kind of give and take.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Not quite the writing of like a Deadpool, which I mean that's gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds is just so good.
Yeah.
But really and truly, and I was never a gigantic Venom fan, because when I was a kid, when Venom came out, I didn't get the idea of an anti-hero. You're either a bad guy or you're a good guy. And I didn't understand the gray area in between. Batman technically is a vigilante. He's a anti-hero, but he's become more painted as a good guy, so to speak, even though vigilantism is frowned upon.
Yeah.
But Venom as a character, I didn't get. It's like he's the bad guy, but he's not a bad guy. Well, is he a good guy? Well, no, because he hates Spider-Man or whatever. It's like, so haven't seen the second one yet. So la 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 la. I will see it. I actually already pre-purchased it on iTunes. It's supposed to come out on digital release sometime either at the end of this month or early next month. So I'm looking forward to that. And did not know, by the way, Venom, the first one, didn't know that you got the first sneak peek of Into the Spider-Verse at the end of that movie.
Yeah.
Did not know that. So we kind of stumbled upon that looking for any kind of like trailers. We did see the Woody Harrelson thing. Cyrano, that is
Cyrano. Oh
Cyrano,
yeah, the next trailer out. This is actually something for me actually. Cyrano official trailer romantic. It is a romantic musical period piece, and it's actually starring Peter Dinklage. And I'm happy that Peter's continually get work, man. He's absolutely a top tier actor. He's absolutely someone that we should have paid attention to a long freaking time ago. It's just that, Hollywood's Hollywood. And it literally, if you don't look the part, you don't look the part. For those who don't know who Peter Dinklage is, he actually played Tyrion Lannister back during Game of Thrones. He was the short individual, the short brother, that basically carried the freaking show for about 8 seasons.
He also played a giant in Game or in Infinity War.
And he did play a giant in Infinity War, and he also played I forgot who it was, but it was a political official who was trying to get rid of mutants or trying to find the cure for mutants.
That's right. He played Tolliver Trapp.
I think in Days of Future Past, I think.
Days of Future, and he was really good. He
was great
because he could play. And I know everyone's just like this has become like the new drinking game on our show is when Kevin starts fucking with his microphone. My kids share space with me in my office, in my studio, and they move stuff, and the mic screen gets all twisted, and it gets loose and like whacks me in the face. Peter Dinklage also. I mean, he's done a lot of other things, guest appearances over the years. He was in, of course. I was gonna say Bad Santa, but that wasn't him. No, he was in Elf.
He was
played kind of a dick in that. Played Eitri the dwarf, which actually was a giant in Infinity War.
That's right.
And like Jared said, he literally carried Game of Thrones. He was the reason why I watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Everyone told me about this show. Oh, it's the greatest show on TV. You tell me this show, insert show, is the greatest show on TV. first I'm going to call you a liar and say, okay, I'll watch it. It's better be better than The Sopranos. And Game of Thrones was good. First few seasons were good. Are they on the level of The Sopranos? No. Was it basically a weekly episodic version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Yes. But well, I mean, in that it's a genre. It's a genre show. It's
Sure.
not a traditional drama. It's in the vein of like,
it's a period piece fantasy about basically trying to it's kingdoms, swords, shields, dragons. There's a lot of things going for it. I can't necessarily call it a Marvel episodic type of stuff.
It's a genre. Okay, I put Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead in the same echelon. Okay, shows like Yellowstone, The Wire, Sopranos, Breaking Bad, those dramas. I put in their own categories. Those are the shows when you tell me, oh, granted, I've never seen The Wire, and I've only seen a couple of episodes of Breaking Bad, but those kind of shows, like they're traditional dramas. Whereas, Game of Thrones and Walking Dead are also dramas on television, but they're different. They're, like I said, they're that fantasy genre style show. So when I say Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's what I meant. Is like, it's Marvel, like, you know, like Falcon the Winter Soldier. People compared it, the way it was shot and the type of show, how it was produced and stuff like that, was on par with traditional serial dramas, but it wasn't. It's a Marvel movie. It's a genre movie. Same thing with like WandaVision and Loki and stuff. So I put those guys in different regards. But anyways, Peter Dinklage, going back to the original story, Peter Dinklage was the reason why I went to watch the Game of Thrones, and I never finished it.
I mean,
which people don't blame me for.
I mean, it's fine. Actually, again, I'm a person that finished Game of Thrones but couldn't give a shit about The Sopranos. So
I'll eventually finish Game of Thrones, and I challenge you to finish The Sopranos.
Here's the thing. I understand that we look at period pieces for what it was. I don't know. It's just one. It's for me. I'd rather watch. I'd rather watch. If I'm looking for like other movies about Italian mafia, I would probably watch Godfather 1, 2. I'd probably watch. I forgot the one with oh man, it's with the Goodfellas. I'd rather watch Goodfellas for thing, right? To get my fix. I understand it's a long form story type of thing.
Yeah.
But it just, for me, like, I can't get into a lot of like longer season mafia-esque type series. But then I'm a weird individual because like I could watch freaking Narcos, but I can't really get into more than a couple episodes of Sopranos. But I freaking watch every season of Game of Thrones because that I love that shit, because that too had a long-standing, ever-evolving story that did not just stay in one timeline or stay in one like continent. Again, it's all about taste and things. Like Peter Dinklage, he's one of the biggest reasons why the show stayed not just relevant, but just stayed
there.
Yeah,
he's one of the biggest reasons.
He's one of the biggest reasons why. Thank you for catching that. He's one of the biggest reasons why the show won all these primetime Emmys. The reason why Game of Thrones constantly was in the running and in the billing for it, because he also brought out the best of other people. And I'm telling you, man, like that show gave us so many great people coming out of it too. Emilia Clarke, who's in the MCU.
Cannot wait to find out what she's gonna do.
Yeah, me too, man. Mandalorian. He came from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, the
I forget his name. It. Yeah, she's Jin Dardenne, but then
I can't think of the character's name. It was the Viper.
The Viper, yeah. I'm trying to remember his actual name. Sophie Turner, who played Sansa, she's gonna possibly well, she technically is an X-Men right now, but hopefully she crossovers MCU and everything else. But like, yeah, just again, we have a Game of Thrones is relevant to the point where like, yo, we're getting a lot of people from Game of Thrones. I mean, like, we got Jon Snow and freaking Robb Stark gonna be in Eternals next month. So
exactly. And then you've got just Game of Thrones has produced a lot of great characters, and
they should fucking thank, I was going to this, and they should fucking thank Peter Dinklage.
Absolutely. Peter Dinklage also in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Exactly.
Like
he should have been the Collector. I'm gonna just say that right now. He should have been the Collector.
That would have been an interesting take. I like Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro is fantastic.
Yes.
What upsets me is, first off, and comment put it in the comments below if you think, is the Collector, well, I guess the Collector really is dead, because I think Thanos killed him in Endgame. But I was really bummed because I really wanted to see the cousins reunite.
Yeah.
And meaning, could you imagine Benicio del Toro's Collector, the
extravagant,
flamboyant, over the top Collector, and then you have the extravagant, flamboyant, way over the top Grandmaster, played brilliantly by I want to say Ian Malcolm, but that's his character from Jurassic Park. Oh my gosh, why did I just draw a blank his name?
It's one of those days, bro. It's like, again, like 1 second. It is oh my god, Jeff Goldblum. Come on.
Which, by the way, Jeff Goldblum Takes on the World, Disney Plus Day. Looking forward to that. Season 2 of Jeff Blow. I think it's called like Jeff Goldblum takes over the world or something. It's really good show. Yeah,
man. Hats off. Going back to Peter Dinklage, this movie is called Cyrano. It very much looks like it's a musical. It looks really good. I kind of want to hear him sing, because I think he does have that play background as well. To me, man, like, you ever watched Mamma Mia?
No, and I like ABBA.
Yeah,
and I just can't.
I get it, but it's the what's called, not Mamma Mia, but the director for this actually has some background in making other musicals. Let me just try to find the notes real quick for it again. He also made Pride and Prejudice, Atonement, Darkest Hour, and he also made another one too. So he's basically
I know. I know of his style.
Yeah, his name is Joe. The director is Joe Wright. Yeah, Peter Dinklage, Haley Bennett, Kelvin Harrison Jr. It looks really freaking good. It's supposed to be this. For those who took English and read Cyrano before, it's supposed to be about, a love, not a love scorn, but like these two friends who the guy desperately loves the girl, but he knows he understands he can't be with her because she actually in love with another guy. And so what he's doing is that he is then trying to make the guy basically be proper for her by writing him, by him giving him poetry for her to tell her, and like act a certain way that she likes. Basically, it's if you've seen this type of thing where you are the friend that's been we call friend zone, and you're the person that you're in love with or have a crush on loves someone else, and you help that person basically for them to get together because of how much you love this other your friend. That's basically came from Cyrano. So they're finally making that into a movie. To me, it looks really good. I'm a dude who bench 375, who can squat like crazy, who can deadlift like crazy. I have a thing for rom-com movies, right? For romantic movies, all that stuff too. I watch that shit too. All right. So this one I might end up watching, man. Not in movie theaters, but probably at home. But
there's nothing wrong with that, Jared. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Devil Wears Prada. It's a hilarious movie. And any guy, I don't care what you say. I challenge any guy to watch that movie and not laugh their ass off. It is so well done. So I'll definitely take a look.
My favorite movie is still gonna be Eternal Sunshine for a Spotless Mind.
Never saw it.
Great fucking movie. I love that movie, dude. Great fucking movie. But yeah, moving on. That movie comes out in December. Cyrano, but
Cyrano.
Continue, my friend.
Moving a bit to the comics and the comic book movie areas. Superman, son. It was announced by DC in the upcoming Superman, son of Kal-El, issue number 5. Jonathan Kent, son of Clark and Lois Kent, aka Lois Lane, and current Superman of Earth comes out as bisexual, currently engaged in a romantic relationship with Jay Nakamura, a reporter who learned of John's secret identity and whose hero is Lois Lane.
How do you feel?
First off,
yes,
I am. So I'm trying to put this as delicately as possibly. And I hate having to do this because it's the same argument as like when people say you're a racist. Oh, I have black friends. Blah, blah, blah. First up, I'm a Christian man.
Okay.
I believe that the Bible says that homosexuality is a sin. I don't care. It's not for me. It may be for you. If it doesn't hurt me, I don't care. The problem with it is, and I would be offended if I were a gay man, at how culture, specifically pop culture, is trying to force the quote LGBTQ agenda down the throat of popular culture. And there are a lot of people out there that I want representation. I get it. I totally get it. But doesn't it feel kind of counterproductive when it's forced, when it is done because, we have to fill a quota. We have to have a black character. We have to have an Asian character. We have to have, and Marvel with those two specific characters, with those two specific ethnicities, they naturally did it.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the Asian side of things, it was at the beginning very stereotypical. We've talked about that in the Shang-Chi episode. But Shang-Chi over the years has evolved and come out and has been a very powerful character and a great representative, but he evolved into it. Black Panther, T'Challa, massive character in the Marvel Universe, evolved into, and on top of that, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago too, was that T'Challa not only, he stayed masked for years. And then it was, here's this guy that happens to be the king of a country, and he's wandering around Earth as a superhero. And then people went, and he's black. I don't know, because I wasn't reading at the time. I don't know the natural progression of Iceman, the mutant, becoming a openly gay man in the comic books. I don't know if it was like overnight, all of a sudden, by the way, we're making that character gay. But it seems like with Robin, with Tim Drake, and with Jonathan Kent, there was no evolution into it. It was just like, boom, I'm coming out just in time for Pride Month, just in time for National Coming Out Day. And it's just like, we get it. You have an agenda to drive. And to jump on your point, I didn't think about this, and I'll let you take this point.
Sure.
They don't even go full in. They don't even go all in. And I'll let you take over because I know this part of it bugged you more than it bugged me. But you kind of balked at you want LGBTQ characters in these major universes, but you don't go all in, and explain to the fans what I mean.
So let me just take a quick step back in this whole thing from my whole standpoint for it. One, truly, and this is my statement, I don't care what sexual identity you want to have, right? As long specifically, or what characters you have, just as long as specifically it's fleshed out through story. Granted, sure, we should have that, we should have that out in with Jonathan's story, right? Jonathan Kent, who is the son of Superman. And again, here's my fucking problem with this specific one. Quite literally a year ago, That 18, 19-year-old, Superman in training was a 10-year-old boy.
So all of a
Let
sudden,
me
in
just say
less
that
than a
again.
year,
In less than a year, he was a 10-year-old boy. And people say, well, it could be time skip. This little boy was having adventures with another little boy, Damian Wayne, yes, Robin, and they were called the Superboys. Legends, they were called Adventures of the Super Kids, just like Superboys, right?
yeah.
They're kids.
Yep.
Until a particular, I'm pretty sure if you guys have either watched or have heard our podcast, a particular writer taken over Superman, and he has basically said, fuck y'all to continuity, and just sent our little boy up to Earth, up out of Earth with his dead grandfather, where he was aged up considerably. Fucking all continuity, especially when during the same time, Adventures of the Super Sons, there you go, the Super Sons,
That's what it
was still ongoing. Again, comics continuity is a fucking issue here. My problem with this is that, one, how do I put this? How do I put this in a way where it's I don't come off as a jackass? Well, I'm gonna sound like a jackass. I mean, just fucking
saying it off. I already came across as a jack.
I my problem with this is multifold. One, I don't care if he's gay, but I understand the play here. They wanted Superman to be gay. Granted that Superman is not Clark Kent, it's Jonathan Kent, but they use that anyway for promotion.
Yeah.
Superman is gay. Oh, wait, no, it's actually Jonathan Clark. The same way that people said Spider-Man is dead. Oh, wait, it's not the real Spider-Man. It's not the real Peter Parker. So that doesn't really count. You know what I'm talking about here?
Yep.
They're using this shit as fucking headlines to sell comic books.
Yep.
That's one of my issues. And an ongoing issue with that is that we understand why they're doing it. Yes, DC Pride Month. I understand people want representation. People want to be seen and heard. But please make up new characters. Make new characters that are relevant to the story ongoing and push it forward rather than a fucking bullet point to say, oh, because this is the thing that's pissing me off for the most part, right? A lot of the people who say they want representation, it's just to have that shit on a bullet point so they can fucking wave that shit somewhere else while they don't freaking buy the actual comic, watch the movie, play the video game, whatever, right? They want that shit as a bullet point for them to say out loud and not support. That is the thing that irritates me the fucking most. Why I say this? If you have been listening to our podcast, comics has been dying for the last 20 years.
Yep.
And this is one of the reasons, and comics have a tendency to really just stick on trends. DC does this a lot. Marvel does this so much, where they want to say these crazy and great things, but all they're doing is selling you comic books. Yes, Superman is gay. Yes, Aquaman is gay. Or his actual name is Jackson Hyde, but then I knew him as Calderon from Titans. Yes, the animated TV show. Titans, where in the TV show he was actually bisexual because he fell in love with Aquagirl first and then had a husband later on the show. My reasoning for this is that they're trying to sell a comic book.
Yep.
To a crowd that probably has never stepped into a comic book store, or to a majority of them that have never stepped into a comic book store. How do I know this? The sales say it. The sales figures shows all. The same way, where if at least 10% of people who watch Marvel movies came to a comic book shop and bought, the comic book industry would be fucking booming right now, or have been since Marvel movies came out. That's not happening. It hasn't been happening because we can actually quantifiably show you that it hasn't been happening. If a Marvel movie can do $1 billion, why is it that Spider-Man only ships 100,000?
No one knows the answer to that question.
Spider-Man,
and the only reason, and on top of that, is the only reason it ships 100,000 is because of the movies. But you would think that you would get a bigger return on your investment.
Yes. So okay, so again, and my other point before when he said, or when my compatriot here said that, like, how come they aren't going fully into it? All right, here's the thing for that. One biggest complaint: if you're going to make Superman gay, make him gay, not bisexual. If you really want to go to that point, make him gay. Go full on. Have him go out. Marry Jay Nakamura is a totally different issue too. That pissed me the fuck off, because for fucking once, DC, please, for fucking once, show a strong Asian male character who is straight and not feminine in any way. And that's not to freaking say that that there's nothing wrong with feminine Asian males. It's that you haven't fucking seen one in a long time. And don't dare quote me Asian Superman, especially when he's a fucking parody of the actual Superman. Give me an actual Asian character. That's beside the point. If you want to really put your foot down and say, hey, we're with you, make Jonathan gay. Make him gay. Let him not switch sides. Let him not be adhered to whatever author then is gonna say, oh, he's gonna have one relationship with a male, one arc, and then with the next arc though, he's gonna go, he's gonna marry his high school sweetheart that was a girl. Oh wait, he was never in fucking high school, but because he was in space with his grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, it's just this type of shit pissed me the fuck off. Like, I understand that I don't know. I don't understand where this whole thing where like, oh, in order for us to feel represented, we gotta just hijack the biggest thing ever that makes more money, more sense. Then you got play me. That pissed me off. If you haven't rocked with this since to begin with, you have no say in this shit. That would be like me, Asian Jay, saying that, hey, Black Panther, he's popular. Wait, why don't you make Black Panther Asian? Why can't he be Thai? Why can't he be king of Burma? Right? Where's my Asian Black Panther? Huh? That's like me saying that shit. And I want T'Challa to be Asian, not some random Asian guy that is like Asian Panther. No, I want Black Panther, King of Wakanda, to be Asian and be in Burma. See how like it's this whole fucking thing of like, I don't know. I'm gonna go into politics. I'm going to politics and straight thinking about people. That people are so Columbus quote unquote day happened, right? And there are people land-based Columbus Day or Indigenous People Day, right? About like, oh, Columbus feel like because there's this argument saying for a very long time that, oh, Columbus just came here and just like, oh, he found shit and thought it was his. Like, how can you do that shit? I agree, but why are we perpetuating that today? Why are we perpetuating that something will finally get, popular? People go, oh, look at this shit. I found it. It should be like me. Like, you haven't fucking been in this thing since the beginning. And this is not to lambast the people that are part of the LGBTQ community that have been here. They have been. And it's cool that we have them here. But at the same time, those allies need to understand that we've had other LGBTQ superheroes have done horribly because they are themselves not being not represented, but like not being like bought. Basically, they're not being dude, we talk about this so many times. We use the example so many freaking times, but America Chavez has been like the New York representation of LGBTQ in the community, where people have been saying multiple times they want a Latin American lesbian woman, and she's been here, and the reason why she's gone because no one fucking bought her book.
Yeah, because it wasn't good.
It wasn't, and not only that, but the author who wrote it is lesbian and Mexican American.
And they'll sit there and tell you that, oh, it's because I can relate, and that's fine. Write a good story.
Yes.
And let the subtext of the story be that the character goes home at night.
Yeah.
And she's dating or married to or enjoys the company of a female companion.
That
should be it.
It should, like, there are a lot of other comics and a lot of other media that has handled these issues better than fucking DC and Marvel, and it pisses me the fuck off.
Here's my thing. when you read a Spider-Man book, okay, from 1962 to 2021, do you, number one, what's the number one thing you want to read when you read a Spider-Man book? You want to see the action. You want to see Peter Parker dressed up as Spider-Man kicking the Green Goblin's ass. Okay. Down the line, albeit somewhere in the top 5, you want to see him, Mary Jane, or
basically just get through his struggles, because that's one of the reasons why people grew up with Spider-Man. Yeah.
There's your basis. And I understand, well, that's cliche, it's overdone, blah, blah, blah. No. Don't make the forefront of the character, don't let his orientation define the character. Like JR said, make a unique character. Okay. You have made Iceman. I can't think of the character's name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I just had it here a second. Bobby.
Bobby. I forgot, like Drake. Anyways. I think.
What?
Drake is his last name. I'll check right now.
But
that's him, Drake. Yeah.
It has become to the point that it's kind of laughable. Is Iceman's defined by his sexuality, not by his history and his mutant powers and what he can do. And I get it that heroes come in all different shapes and sizes. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is not a bash on homosexuality. It's not. I could care less. What is it?
His name is actually Robert Louis Drake. So
okay, so Bobby Drake. I was trying to remember. I was trying to hear Anna Paquin, screaming his name. That sounded inappropriate. But I think my problem, and everyone's like, you're homophobic. No, I'm not. I could give 2 shits. Okay. Yeah. I know it's not going to take very long for anybody to dig up some crap on me online about my stance on homosexuality. I'm not denying it, but I'm also going to tell you, I've sat with, I had a friend of mine, one of the nicest guys I ever met. At the same time, could be a total asshole, but his name is, and I won't say his last name, but his name is Steve.
Okay.
And I used to work with him when I worked for the Palm Springs Power. And I mean, he is flamboyantly gay. Okay. And him and I had an extensive conversation, and he knew that I stand. I'm a very conservative person, obviously Christian Republican, yada yada yada. And we had an extensive conversation, and he didn't let those labels define me, and he didn't let and I didn't let the labels of him being a flamboyantly gay man label him. I got to know him. He was a nice guy. We talked about politics. We talked about this, and one of the things he talked about with homosexuality's representation in pop culture was it's that by that very it's that's what defines them is they're not. Why can't they be a successful businessman who just happens to be gay? Why can't they be a guy who, or a girl who runs a bar or runs a comic book store or runs for city council, and this is their stance and this is what their business is about? Oh, by the way, did you know? And really, does it matter? It used to be that you didn't talk about certain things out in public, straight or gay. And so that's why I'm with you, Jared. Make it an original character, or make it make sense. America Chavez, I have no problem with the character. It's a cool character. It's a cool look. I like it. Like the jean jacket, the star, the long hair. Was she's Mexican or Puerto Rican? I thought she was Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican.
She's Latina. Yeah,
Latina. I have no problem with it. I like the Latin sass, and that comes across in the character. I like that. But like JR said, that book was god awful because it was agenda driven, and it didn't let America Chavez be who she needed to be, and that was quote unquote Captain America for her Earth, for her multiverse. Much like Spider-Gwen was allowed to be the Spider-Man, the Spider-Woman of her multiverse. It's like
Yeah.
They allowed her sexuality to define her, and I just God,
it's a bigger conversation with that. Be like, yeah, there is this thing of like, when do you stop letting labels become who you are, type of thing? And I understand we live in a country where yeah, we want to be proud of who we are, and I get that. I truly do. I get that. You want to be seen as Asian, you want to be seen as indigenous, you want to be seen as LGBTQ, you want to be seen, right? And so that's the point. You want to be seen, heard, and recognized. I understand that. But here's a problem with this, and I've always had a fucking problem with this. It's not about representation with DC and Marvel when they do this type of shit. Why is it that during, Pride Month, they finally have gay characters come out? And why isn't that they haven't come out naturally throughout a span of an arc or a series? Why is it, we've heard us talk about this before, why is it that during these specific times it is now pleasant for it to come out?
Why bullshit. Not talk about a random
it's for fucking money. I understand that. The freaking
or you wouldn't have a logo on your comic book.
The comics, I understand. I understand the comic book. The comic book freaking market has been grossly fucking horribly gouged, but at the same time, the actual comic book market, not the second market, the actual comic book market has been dying for the last 10 to 20 years. Yeah. And that's why you see so many fucking rebrands. I get it. You do the Marvel and DC do this shit just so they have some revenue in their back pocket. But guess what? The crowd that you're selling to is not going to buy issue 2 and 3. How are they like? Cool. You have Jonathan Kent, who is going to be bisexual, come out, have a boyfriend for issue 5. How many of them are gonna read issue 11? That's my problem here. You know who's gonna read issue 11? Me, because I've been buying it since Superman last year with the fucking Bendis books. I am the market here. That's the problem. I'm the market that DC is trying to put this stuff on, and no problem with it. But when my story is modified or basically twisted to a point where it's not the story I was reading anymore, I'm pissed the fuck off. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? I wanted to see, like, the awesome example about this, and we constantly use this, is Civil War 2. I was reading A-Force. A-Force is a group of awesome fucking women that has most of the powerhouses in Marvel come together, and they're just basically an awesome group of badass women who fight off where the fuck they want to fight off. And I'm hoping that we definitely see Singularity out there sometime soon, because it'd be awesome to see basically the universe formed into a girl. That'd be awesome to see. During, I think, issues 1 through 9, they were doing their own usual thing, and then Civil War 2 happens. Now this fun comic book that I've been reading about girls trying to navigate how to live in this new Marvel universe after figuring out that they were once friends during God Doom's reign of terror, and trying to come back together, is now ruined because fucking Civil War 2 came out. And now, because Captain Marvel's she's a fucking asshole who's dictator, is now just sidelining this story that's been progressing for literally 9 months.
Which, in defense, I mean, comic books have been doing that for a long time. That they rely on their established books to tell a overarching story. It's what I mean. That's really what the Infinity Saga was all about. Oh, I totally get it. It's
the same thing. Like it goes to the point where, like, it just, you sideline so many things up when you know you're doing this for a certain amount of profit. That's the thing that pisses me off. For me, this isn't genuine. If this was genuine, Jonathan should have came out when he first came back to fucking Earth.
Yeah.
Jonathan should, like, honestly, it's not genuine to me. Why do you need to have this during LGBTQ month and not, well, granted, he's coming out in November, but this has been freaking announced since back then. It's the same fucking thing, my dude.
Yeah. Well, This is a conversation we could have. We could do an entire show on, and we've spread it out. One of our early shows, and we'll put it. I'll try to make sure I put it in the at the end of the YouTube show. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's usually like little boxes at the end of the episode. I'll try to remember to put in our America Chavez show, which was like, I think it was like the first or second episode we ever did. Where we talk about the same thing. I will end on this and to kind of put a pretty little bow on this conversation, because JR hit it right on the head. I'm going to use two examples. A few months ago, I have, for lack of a better term, my boss at my day job came to me because you go to comic book stores, right? Yeah, he goes, I need you to pick up this new book, whatever, blah 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 blah, whatever it was. But it was the episode, it was the book in which Tim Drake comes out as bisexual. So here is a man in his 60s, straight man, been married twice, and has no interest in buying comic books. He enjoys pop culture, likes The Walking Dead, likes Game of Thrones, likes the Marvel Cinematic Universe, loves TNT dramas. He likes watching Yellowstone. He likes pop culture. Could give two shits about people's sexuality. It's their business. But he goes, I want that book. Give me that book. Okay, do you want me to make? And now, normally, like JR said, normally the conversation, you want me to create you a pool? I'll get you the back issues. You know, if it's issue number 3, I can get you issues number 1 and 2. Yeah. Sign you up, get you issue number 4, 5, and 6. No, I just want issue number 3. So, Superman, son of Kal-El. First of all, had no idea this book was even published. I'm a Superman fan. Had no idea that this book was even open. Good job, DC. Okay, it's issue number 5. Okay, I've had not 1, not 2, but 3 different people ask me, "Hey, you go to that comic book store, right? Yeah, can you get me that Superman, son of Kal-El, number 5?" And I had no idea when they asked me. And then I saw the news story. Oh, yeah. Do you want me to get you issues 1 through 4? No. Why? I have no desire to. Now, I know some people say this is pot calling the kettle black because, Kevin, you have Amazing Spider-Man number 129 and 300. Do you have issues 1 through 128? No. Would I get those 128 books? Fuck yeah, I would. I can't afford them. Okay. But yeah, I'd get those books. I didn't get Amazing Spider-Man number 129 because it was the Punisher. I got it as part of a collection. Other than that, I would never have sought it out. Wolverine. I bought some Wolverine books. And guess what I did? I went and bought issues 1 through 121. Okay. Yeah. Uncanny X-Men. I love Chris Claremont. I love his writing. The one book I've always sought after. I want Uncanny X-Men number 141. Of course, Days of Future Past, part 1. I got 142. And guess what I'm trying to do right now? I'm trying to build a run from the as low as I can go, single to double digits, up through almost 300 issues. But I'm not soughting after a new book right now just because of this. Yeah. Now we do buy some books, some variants because of the artist on the cover, yes. But but I'll read it. There's times where I'll buy a Wonder Woman, whatever, because Jenny Frison did the cover and I really liked it. And you know what I'll do is I'll read the book and go, damn, this is a good book. Who writes this? Oh, it's so and so. You know what? I'm going to get the rest of this book. I guarantee you, though, JR, like you said, people are going to buy the Son of Kal-El number 5, put it on a shelf, and completely forget about it. They won't frame it and put it on the wall and say, that's my Superman. That's my gay Superman. That's my bi Superman. They won't hold it like a trophy. No, they'll put it on a bookshelf. They'll forget about it. And some friend will go like, why do you have this plastic thing on your bookshelf? What's this? Oh, yeah, that was that Superman book that I bought back in October of 2021. So conversation.
Yeah. It's like, come on, thing like, if you want to shut me up about this, please support the rest of the series. Why?
Yeah. Absolutely.
They fucking need it. Period. Every fucking comic book needs it. The same way, like, to get this and for the sake of probably looking like, oh, well, I have a gay friend, 2 bullshit, right? a great character that came out recently in the last couple of years, right? That has come out as lesbian or get in the LGBTQ community that no one has a fucking problem, that I don't have a fucking problem with. I never had a problem with. I don't have a problem with gay characters in this, but when they're naturally fleshed out, fine, cool. Crush, Teen Titans. Lobo the Bounty Hunter has a daughter. Crush. She came out lesbian. She appeared first on the issue in 2018, Teen Titans Special 1, and I think they made reference to her sexuality. I think like somewhere in 2019, right? She came, and then she, I guess, came out in that same issue as lesbian. Why does that matter? It doesn't really, because they put it out in a story where it had nothing to do with LGBTQ month. For me, dude, and I've been saying this for the longest fucking time. For me, all these fucking representations and LGBTQ and Valentine's and all this shit is the same thing. They're doing it to fucking make a penny off of you. And for someone that's been rocking with this shit for a long time, that offends me. Because guess who's still gonna be rocking this shit afterwards? And most likely this series is gonna probably be done in the next year because there's no one gonna be fucking buying this shit. Like how other, freaking spin-offs of Superman have been in the last couple of years. It's quantifiable. Basically what I'm saying for a longest time, if you want this representation, cool, support it until it fucking ends, because I'm sick and tired of it. I really am. I'm tired of people that have been trying to plant their flag. Cool. You want to put your flag planted? Cool. But please, please, please support it to the fucking end.
I will have to say this, JR. We had a main topic for this show. We may have to bump that to next week.
That's fine.
No, this is a great topic. And guys, hit us up in the comment below if you guys are listening to the show. Hit us up at I'm sorry, I almost gave away the wrong Twitter handle, at PS Comics. I love the letter U on Twitter. And email the show and we'll read your emails on air. PS Comics, I love you at gmail.com. Because we want to hear from you guys. And I'll give them a shout out here. Tom Taylor and artist John Timms are the creators, are the collaborators on Son of Kal, or what is it called?
Son of Kal. And for those who don't know, it's Superman Son of Kal. And for those who don't know, that's why I'm having hope in this. The writer who did this has done Injustice, like the series Injustice.
He also was part of the resurrection
awesome.
He was also part of the resurrection of X-Men over on the Marvel side.
Yep.
Some will say maybe that wasn't really that good. Tom Taylor is a well-known writer both on DC and Marvel. So I'm gonna give him a shout out. Love him or like him, go check him out. I'm looking right now. I've got at least 6 different books that have John Timms.
John Timms.
As the artist. And real quick look at Tom Taylor.
Yeah, dude. I've
got at least 18 different books, including a couple of X-Men books that are by him. So I'll give him a shout out.
Like I'm saying, for those who are listening, or for those who are going to buy issue 5 and not buy issue 1, 2, 3, 4, because Jay Nakamura came out in issue 1, please continue to buy this series afterwards, please, because obviously comics fucking need it. And
real quick, you mentioned Tim Drake, Robin, one of the long-standing original Robins obviously came out. But I'm reading here in the comicbook.com article that there is is there a version of Wonder Woman or someone from the Wonder Woman books that's also bisexual?
I think it's a new one, Wonder Girl.
Okay, because they said that here it's
it might be Florida.
The article wrote here, he goes, Jonathan Kent, son of Clark Kent, Lois Lane, the hero serving as Superman, DC's main publishing line, will become as bisexual in the upcoming Superman Kal-El number 5. Our writer Tom Taylor and John Timms. This comes on the heels of the similar announcement by Tim Drake, the Robin who headlined his own solo title for a decade. Now that with Drake, Jonathan Kent, and Wonder Woman, each member of DC's Trinity has a major bisexual character in their family. So
attached to it.
So somewhere in the Wonder Woman. Yeah. And I know that they've always said that Wonder Woman her sexuality is fluid, which is.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for fucking bringing that shit up. Actually, because this has been my problem with that shit. When you lay down as a writer, when you lay down like absolutes in this, right? That means with comics, it's a long-standing thing. So every writer after you make an absolute has to write around that or retcon it. That's always been my problem. What I would love to see is gender fluidity. If you want to, like, even though yes, we say sexual, bisexual is a pass. For me personally, going forward, gender fluidity for every character made now and then.
That's what it's come to.
I want that to happen more so, like rather than giving characters that have been established for a long fucking time to somehow now just to make a point to have some type of relativity, to have some type of relativity to have some type of fucking social currency in today's age. Okay, now this person is gay.
Yeah.
Really? Not when it was hard to come out way back when. Now when it's acceptable. Now when it's profitable, come out as gay. That's my problem. So for me, going forward, everyone should be fucking gender fluid now. That's me personally.
Well, and when I said fluidity, I meant more of the sexuality, because Wonder Woman, there was no definition as to. I mean, she was a female, obviously, because her name. I mean, Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. But her sexuality was never defined. Mm-hmm. It was assumed, but it was never said. Yeah. And here's a Amazonian woman, mm-hmm. big, beefy, sometimes labeled as butch or a lesbian.
Depends on which artist is drawing.
And again, send your hate tweets at Voice of Reason 23, and I'll tell you. Okay, I'm going with stereotypes here. Okay, Wonder Woman for decades could be labeled as the poster child for lesbian comic book character.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was still very feminine, and she was sexy, and she hung out with guys. She had a fling with Batman. She had a fling with Superman. She had a fling with this guy. Had a fling with that guy. Mm-hmm. And people go like, well, you never saw her have a fling with a woman.
Not yet.
Maybe it didn't need to be said.
Actually,
I never. It was funny. It was up until I saw the Wonder Woman movie. Mm-hmm. I just assumed that that Wonder Woman, that Diana Prince's sexuality was never defined. Yeah. It was assumed she was straight, but only because it was never said to the contrary.
I would have to kind of not buck, but more so like there has been time where she didn't know in the last like 6-7 years, right?
Yeah.
Where his sexuality did come out by saying that, yeah, we're women, but we still fell in love. And so I forgot which author it was, but they did say that she did have lesbian relationships. But for me, that still fits the goal of like having sexual fluidity.
Yeah.
Of course she's still gonna fucking fall in love with people. Of course she's gonna still have some type of sexual attraction to people who have been around her. So yeah, that makes fucking sense. What doesn't make sense is like a 10-year-old kid became 18, 19, with his grandfather for a fucking year, comes back to the earth and falls in love with the Asian character who has pink hair. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. And to go back to what JR said about like with Wonder Woman was, they just let it kind of slide into the character. And this goes back to like, and again, right, what you said as well, was she just, I love who I love. I know that some would say like, oh, then you're basically making Wonder Woman a slut. No, she's not. She's just, first off, she's a character who has to tightly keep her secret identity. I mean, because she comes from a secret society on this, ancient world or whatever. So she probably can't get attached unless you are a Kal-El or a Bruce Wayne who can keep a secret. But even then, she can't be attached because she could become a target or they could become a target. Yeah. So she loves where she can get love, and that's where it's talking about the sexuality with Wonder Woman has been so fluid. Is I don't have a problem with. But again, let us know in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube what you think of this situation, or again, hit us up on Twitter at PS Comics. I love the letter U. If you want to get involved with the conversation, and so yeah, well, I'm sure we'll talk more about this and whatnot. And I think based on time, though, we're going to keep going. But I am going to throw this out here. We did want to talk about the distribution issues with Marvel. I think based on time,
we'll have some of the time.
We can. I want to copy and paste that because, guys, we'll preview this for a future episode. Penguin Random House is fucking some shit up at Marvel, pissing us off. So maybe we could take a week to breathe and then come back and freaking shoot fire. Yeah. But before we get to there, we got some major Marvel shit happening. We mentioned DC fandom. Real quick, one last thing on DC. DC partnered up with Webtoon. As JR said, almost slipped under the radar. This is a Korean-based manga publisher that has partnered up with DC to, I'm guessing, to release some new comic books and some new digital medium.
It's actually, Webtoon is actually the biggest webcomic platform in the web. Like, they blew the hell up. So this is actually a huge fucking get for DC, because like Korean manhwa and Japanese manga have been legitimately selling way fucking more than comics consistently over the years. Granted, they're gonna have more relevancy for comics in America because it's America, but like, if you see the numbers that what Japanese manga have been doing weekly, it's insane. It's fucking insane. And so one of the biggest gets for DC has been actually having a partnership deal with Webtoon, and actually they just released about a month or so ago their first foray into this. Batman Wayne Family Adventures is basically like a slice of life short story short story format comic that showcases basically just like, you know, the Bat family kind of living together in a sense, right? You see in the first issue, you see Duke, which is the awesome I'm so glad Duke is like getting a prominent role within one in basically Batman in general, as well as DC Detective Comics. But two, just to see him in other platforms is great to see, because he in the first I guess comic, he moves into the Wayne Manor. He gets shown around by Bats. He gets shown around by Bruce. Actually, he gets shown around by Damian. You know, his room and stuff. And this is basically like, what would happen if you actually lived in the Wayne household, but it wasn't dysfunctional most of the time, like how it usually is in the super serious DC world, right? Yeah. DC Comics. It's basically if they're just kind of just being a family type of thing, and that's the type of shit I fucking love. Because one, dear God, seeing Bruce just be like a father is an amazing thing. Being a dad, right? Granted, he still does that. He still showcases that anyway in the comics, but it's less broody, less what's the word I'm looking for? Less, possessive of trying to fight crime, and just more so like, oh yeah, he's my kids. This is our family chart of who's me and all my sons, right? Cassandra Cain, aka the best one, is there too. You can't fight me on that. Cassandra fucking Cain is literally like top 3 best martial artists in DC, bar fucking none. She can take on all the bad boys by her fucking self and win pretty easily. So she's in there too. I love that. And it's just a fun little thing. It actually has grown quite an acclaim for it. Looking really good. I think it's on episode I think issue 9 or so. They are currently free right now on Webtoon, and I hope they release more of this stuff out. Like, one of the reasons why I love Superman Rebirth is that like it really just showcases like the Superman family, Lois, Clark, John, going out in the farm and just like talking like just basically my power couple being parents and raising a superpowered son. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And so I see that a lot in the Wayne Family Adventures. I hope there's you release more stuff on that, because dude, I'm telling you, if that shit pops off like it has been, that's another way of them finally, actually getting more revenue and like possibly, reaching more masses and hopefully not having the comic book industry die on me. So here's that. But yeah.
Speaking real quick, we'll move off the Superman and DC talk real quick. It was announced earlier today. Talk about Comic-Cons. We got one coming to Southern California here. Obviously, we got one coming to San Diego in November, Thanksgiving weekend. The San Diego Comic-Con Light, I guess. I don't know what they're going to call it, but nonetheless, we have a Comic-Con Revolution coming to Ontario, the Ontario Convention Center. It'll be December 18th through the 19th. Not a sponsor, just going to give them a cheap shout out. Tickets are available at ccrtix.com. Announced earlier today, everybody's favorite Superman, Dean Cain, going to be at Comic-Con Revolution. I grew up with him. He was my Superman. He really looked like he was ripped from the comic books. The costume was cool, the look, the hair, and he played both roles. Again, don't forget, when you play a superhero, you're not just playing one character. You have to play two characters.
So quick question, actually. So they got the convention center?
Oh yeah.
Not the other one? Like it's the actual like Wells Fargo Arena?
No, this is the Ontario Convention Center, not the not the hockey arena that's down the street.
I'm about to say if they got that one, that'd be crazy, bro. But
no. The Ontario Convention Center is big enough in its own right. And I know that I have reached out, by the way, submitted this very podcast for a possible panel. Doubt we're going to get it, but
I'm just hoping some passes.
I'll wait for some passes. But no, Dean Cain announced, and it's becoming for last minute. It's becoming kind of a star-studded event. So we'll talk about that as we get closer to Comic-Con Revolution. Some big announcements made by Marvel this week. One probably slipped through the cracks that I'm sure people did not want out quite yet. But and it's not this one. WandaVision announced a spin-off series, and it is going to star everyone's favorite witch, Agatha Harkness. That's right. Catherine Hahn, the incomparable Catherine Hahn, is set to reprise her role as the bewitching user of the dark arts to set the Marvel landscape ablaze. And I like your verbiage here. And hopefully continue her amazing work with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And as JR put it, yes, my dear listeners, it was Agatha all along. I'm okay with this. Catherine Hahn can do no wrong. I have had a woman crush Wednesday on her for a long time. She's a phenomenal actress. She's hilarious. Her timing is impeccable. She can do no wrong. And on top of that, I think she's beautiful. And I absolutely loved her as Agatha Harkness in WandaVision. And I even have, hold on. Here we go. Right here, my Funko Pop of Miss Agatha Harkness. How cool is that? Jared, could you imagine if you got turned into a Funko? One of these days, little bobblehead JR. Anyways, so yeah, looking forward to that. I would imagine that is coming to Disney Plus sometime in the near decade. But there's all kinds of stuff. There was another story I heard about a Disney Plus show that they're in production or in talks to do, but I can't remember. Real quick, I know this didn't get put into your news and notes, but another teaser trailer was released for Hawkeye.
Yep.
We do know more details about this show, and it will drop on November 24th with not one, but 2 episodes on premiere night. Bad news is there's only 6 episodes in the season. And we do know that there is, as of right now, it is being referred to as a limited series, which means right off the bat, there will be no second season. I think they'll probably do something else. Yeah. Maybe they'll call it Kate Bishop or something like that. But we know that Kate Bishop is very much going to be a part of this the comic universe, the Marvel universe going forward. So we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, November 24th, Disney Plus, Thanksgiving week, 2 episodes, and it's a 6-episode season.
Yep.
Now, JR,
Yes.
this last bit of news before we get to my flex pool, and I'm like I said, we teased it. We're gonna bump just based on time because that the Kal-El talk was very, very important.
Yeah.
We're gonna move the random house to another episode, but in on this, a character, probably the worst kept secret in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is officially coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is Adam Warlock. Will finally make his debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, man.
In at least Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
But JR, let's not forget that Mr. James Gunn is not working on one, but working on two separate Guardians of the Galaxy movies as we speak. He actually will go into production next month for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but part of that production is actually shooting the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special that will come out in December of 2022. Guardians Volume 3 is set for a March 2023 release. But it was announced that Adam Warlock is coming to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and it is going to be played by, you'd never guess it, Will Poulter.
Mm-hmm.
And as they say from Guardians 1, who? He is best known for We're the Millers, The Chronicles of Narnia, and most recently Midsummer with Florence Pugh. Of course, you know her as the new Black Widow, aka Elena Belova.
Yep.
Well, this was an interesting choice because Jerry, you said this is man personified. This is as close to as they refer to him. This was Jesus Christ superstar, very man perfection.
He was quite literally in Marvel Comics Space Jesus, quite literally.
And his original character is known as him.
Yeah, him.
HIM, capital letters.
He was supposed to be proclaimed as the pinnacle of human evolution and always constantly known as the perfect orange being. He's supposed to be golden, but he was originally made from what are they called again? The
Sovereign.
The Sovereign, basically the race that we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy #2 that Quinn was was Quinn? Yeah. Who was what's his name? The Star-Lord, basically. That Star-Lord was basically hitting on the
on
the
Aisha.
Queen.
Yeah,
Aisha, right? And so when we see the end credits, she say Adam, right? So this is who she's talking about. He's supposed to be seen as the perfect being in comic book continuity. He was the individual which took the soul gem, right, and basically defeated Thanos, and he was also one of the users of the Infinity Gauntlet. And he's supposed to be sometime in comic be the next Living Tribunal. Living Tribunal is this crazy freaking god character, quite literally god character, that can literally snap the existence of the what if, what's the name? What if Ultron out of existence like nothing. Yeah, that's how strong Living Tribunal is right now in Marvel continuity. But Will Poulter, interesting choice. Very, very interesting choice. For a long time, people thought it was going to be Zac Efron. I thought it was going to be Zac Efron too, man. He looked really good. But then, granted, I understand that they wanted to go younger. They wanted to possibly, see who can carry a franchise or help carry multiple franchises for a good number of years, a la, Robert Downey, a la Chris, all the Chris's, a la Scarlett,
Yeah.
So I gotta say, when I think of Will Poulter, I think of the meme I sent you, right?
Yeah, and this, by the way, if you're watching the YouTube version, this is actually our boy Boss Logic did a very Boss Logic take on Will Poulter as Adam Warlock. And you know what? That looks, if they do that, I'm in. That
looks good. It's just that I don't know how. I gotta see his costume type of thing, right? I gotta see his costume. I gotta see the makeup. It's just, for me, dude. The most recognizable thing for me from him is his face, and his flat nose, his flat face. But like, I see him when he's a little bit older, right? Because when every time I see him, I always see that freaking meme of We Are the Millers, and he's the last segmented guy. But I see him when he's older, and his facial structure really evened out. He looks a lot more buffer. for a very long time. I don't know why I confused him with the actor from Gotham who played one of the
So
Jokers.
so did I. I thought there was a
Yeah,
picture. His IMDb photo is very
yeah,
dark, and
yeah,
it reminded me of the guy who plays Joker
yeah,
in Gotham.
yeah. I've he was in another show too
Yeah.
with a huge family. I forgot what it's called, like Shameless. Yeah, it was called. But that's who I thought it was, man.
I thought they were
For a
one and the
very very
same for a
long
second.
time. Yeah, I thought originally that's what his name is. Cameron? No, 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 no. It's not Cameron. It's yeah, it's Cameron. Cameron Monahan. Monahan. That's what I thought it was originally. But even in that sense, looking at pictures of Cameron, he could have been a good pick for Warlock, himself. But again, I'm having faith in James Gunn. He has yet to steer us wrong for a certain extent, although I do feel like he did lose a little bit of a air during Guardians of the Galaxy 2. All that air came back when he did the revision, his version of Suicide Squad. So I'm definitely gonna just leave him to do James Gunn things and just see how Will Poulter does, man. We have another actor from the UK gaining a I can't really call I can't really call Warlock an American role, but
No, but I mean, he's never
role.
been obviously his accent or his, because
Yeah,
he's a created being, so there's
yeah,
no way to put a definition on, like, we've never heard him speak. He's
yeah,
always been in comics, so we
yeah.
don't know what he sounds like. So
Yeah, I'm seeing this picture right now. I don't know if I can send it to you, but like there's a certain picture right now. If you look on Google for Will Poulter, when he's older, that facial structure looks really good.
yeah,
Again, that's probably something that the casting director and James Gunn saw in him. That of course we as fans and freaking confirmation bias from the past or recency bias in the past is probably taking over. That's blinding us to see from it. But hey, okay, cool. We'll just see how it goes. James Gunn has a lot of good karma going from right now, and so like, hey, all right, bro, you do what you gotta do. Uh, we'll see how he does. Here's hoping that we see possibly the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 sometime this year or early next year, and we will definitely give you guys a review on that one when that pops up through. But like, yeah, Will Poulter, interesting pick, very very interesting pick, man.
yeah, so let us know, guys, in the comments below what you thought of the casting of Will Poulter as the selection for Adam Warlock, and let us know too, and I'll put this in our Spotify Q&A. What movie do you think Adam Warlock will make his first appearance? And think about all the stuff that's going on between now and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. You've got Doctor Strange, you've got the Eternals, you have Spider-Man, we have Wakanda Forever, all these movies coming out over the next year and a half until Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special comes out in December of 2022. And then Guardians Volume 3 comes out in, I believe, March of 2023. Could we see a sneak peek of Adam Warlock beforehand? We don't know. So let us know, when do you think we are going to see Adam Warlock make his appearance? Now, I'm not going to go full blown flex pull.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to throw out some stuff that I got over the last couple weeks. I've had some really shitty luck with my Funko Pops. I try to pre-order mine, which means I'm not going to see them for months, but I pre-ordered a bunch of Pokemon ones back in like April, and one by one, I was supposed to get them like 2 weeks ago. One by one, canceled, back ordered, delayed. Now, of course, a lot of this has to do with shipping issues and stuff like that. Same thing with Target. I ordered a bunch from Target back in like January or February for a June release, and one by one, a bunch of them started to fall. But I did manage to get this one. This is a Captain America, Sam Wilson. So It's not the one I originally wanted. The one that I originally wanted, I actually found out it is back in stock, and I'm going to get it in December. And it's the same concept, but it actually has bullets bouncing off the shield, so it's more of action pose. That one should be coming out in, like I said, in December.
What's that? Just a weird segue, real quick. Just go back on Will Poulter just a little bit.
Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure when he gets his superhero body, like making the rounds around the internet, I'll probably go like, yeah, okay, that's gonna be Adam Warlock, because like I forgot who it was, but he was in he's gonna be in we call Eternals, right? I forgot the actor who is the Indian actor. I watched him in I think, yes, I'm saying. So like I remember him in a different show. He was super skinny, super skinny, and like ever since that picture, man, of him putting on like 20, 30 pounds one year and then 20 more pounds the next year, I'm like, damn, homie. Okay, then we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
So again, that superhero body to get ready for that, to get ready for a role does change a lot of like minds per se.
And like what I said in our text thread earlier this week, remember the guy who plays Star-Lord used to be the fat guy on Parks and Rec. So
that's true.
Check that out. Real quick too, I got this one. This one actually just came in today. I didn't think I was going to get this one. I actually have another one coming of this one later this month. It's Sylvie from Loki. Didn't get a lot of the Loki Funkos, but I did get the Ravonna Renslayer, which is sitting here right in front of me, opened already. I won't open these ones because JR would have a aneurysm. Did get some Funko ones. Horsey from the original, and then not a big fan of the silver Funkos where they take a Funko and they just dip them in gold or dip them in silver. I did get this one because it's my favorite Pokemon. I got Charmander, shiny. Silver, I call it the shiny one though. So that one came in. I do have a few other ones that are en route, and your boy sometime in the very near future. This is all I'm going to say. Your boy, the very near future, is going to get his hands on an Infinity Stone.
Nice.
So we will make that unboxing when I finally get it sometime. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, JR, a great conversation. Talking about the I did not think it was going to go the direction it did, but I enjoyed it so much so that I think that conversation would get lost in us continuing to talk about Penguin Random House. So we'll save that for another day. We may just do we may just cut out news and notes and go right into
most like that, or because we do have fandom coming out this weekend, guys, and I think we're most likely gonna I'll probably record not that Sunday, but probably that Monday.
We'll do like we're gonna bang out some extra episodes for you guys. To kind of catch up. It is crazy. And then of course Disney Plus Day a couple of weeks away. And then we've got the Eternals coming out in just a couple of weeks. Matter of fact, the Hollywood premiere is on Monday.
Did we talk about my girl coming back to Disney?
We did last week. We did part of Shang-Chi. Cool. It had the news had actually just broke that Black Widow Scarlett Johansson.
Not Scarlett, to Star Wars. Remember she came back. We didn't talk about it. I forgot her name. My gosh. She had some very dumb, idiotic fucking thoughts about.
Oh yeah, we did. Gina Carano is coming back. So it's not official, but it is said that Gina Carano was coming back to Lucasfilm to play Cara Dune. No word on if they are going to re-greenlight Rangers of the New Republic, but it is said unofficially that there will be a season 4 of The Mandalorian and that Cara Dune will make her return in that season. Carl Weathers, who is starring in The Mandalorian, of course, I can't remember the character he plays, but he also directed a couple of episodes in season 2, has announced that production has started on season 3. When we will see it, we do not know. We do know that Book of Boba Fett comes out in December, but I would think that Mandalorian season 3 is easily going to probably be a spring release, based on just the track record. If they're in production now and they shoot for 3 or 4 months, and then go into post-production. It's about a 6-month turnaround on a release. So we'll see what happens. You got any flex pulls or that, but yeah, that's all, folks.
I mean, I did have, I'm chilling. Now,
Okay.
I still got to sell some shit. So,
there you go. Also at also not JR Comics 42 on Instagram. Spider-Gwen sexy cover. Love that.
Yeah, Spider-Gwen with Miles. The 1 for 25 variant. I think it's issue number 6. Yeah, issue number 16 variant. Really hard to find. I might send that CDC, or I might just sell it outright because I kind of need money right now in order to feed my addiction to comic books.
Well, so, I'm telling you, we might have to do in the very near future. We may have to do a whatnot. So we may have to go deep into Kevin's long boxes and do some sales. I do want to know this because I always want to give shout out, even if she wasn't a huge actress, but I like whenever we do unfortunately lose someone in our little Marvel universe or DC universe, I want to give a shout out. This news just came via earlier today, actually just in the last hour or so. Black Panther actress Dorothy Steele dies at the age of 95. You're probably wondering, who is Dorothy Steele? Well, if you go back to the throne room scene in Black Panther 1, she is the merchant tribe leader. She is the basically the old woman in the throne room in Wakanda. And she actually got into the acting at the age of 88. So just in the last 7 years of her life did she get into acting, including starring in the 3rd highest grossing film of all time, Black Panther. So you know what? If you got an acting at 88 and you die at 95 and you did Black Panther, my friend, there is only one way to send off Miss Dorothy Steele into the great beyond, and that is Wakanda forever. Dorothy, you did a great job, because you know what? Maybe it wasn't a standout role, but it was an important role. Everything in that movie was important, and you're a part of the family. You're part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Your character will live on. So I just saw that came across on comicbook.com. I always want to give all the hard workers in these movies a shout out when they pass on, because sometimes it'll get kind of swept under the rug. So but dang though, 7-year career at 88. And
that's definitely better than those who've been in it for like 60 years, bro.
I was looking about it too, is like, this girl, she starts at 88, right? And I mean, she didn't have a huge list, but I mean, she did some work. Good for her.
Yeah, she
was in Jumanji, The Next Level.
Yeah,
she was in like I said, she was in Black Panther. She was in a series called Saints and Sinners. So yeah, good for her.
Man. Yeah, dude,
you do you. Hey. But no, I just saw that came across. I wanted to give her a shout out. So all right, my friend, my dude, as always, it is always good catching up, talking comic books with you. I think we about covered it all. And also, by the way, the Shang-Chi episode is up. Don't forget to check out the description on that one. JR gives his top 5 Asian influenced fighting movies that you have to watch before you watch Shang-Chi, if you haven't already watched it. And you can put that on there. I put the little tag on the description. People were asking about us. Got to check out the description. Got to watch the episode and check out the description. So So
if you guys can't watch 5, I'll give you just one. Gorgeous.
I knew he was going to say gorgeous. And I'll say this:
Chan,
the resurgence of one Ethan Hawke is upon us. He's got multiple movies coming out this year, next.
Yeah, man.
If there's one Ethan Hawke movie you watch, though, got to be Training Day. Go home and watch it, because King Kong ain't got nothing on Ethan Hawke. All right, my dudes. Enjoy the rest of your week, or whenever we see you again. Be good to your fellow humans. Wear your damn mask, and as always, peace.
Cool, man.